All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Ben Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. It's beautiful Tuesday. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. Um, so let's hop into our credo. All right. Taking massive action. Accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, setting yourself body, mind, and spirit, ensuring that a balanced approach to trading, trust in your education, strategy, training skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing. Obey your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. Let's get to it, man. Let's focus our minds, focus our bodies, and let's get it popping. Um, got some things to catch up on from a fundamental perspective. Um, so we'll dive into trading economics, see what's there, and then we'll get over to the charts. All right. So, all right. So, Euro area escapes a recession. I didn't get a chance to share this with you guys yet. Joy made a post last night. Appreciate her doing that. But we do have a blog. Blog is where all of we'll consistently post key fundamental updates for a particular day. A couple times a week, you'll see a new blog post go in there. That's the one on the Eurozone, breaking down the narrow escape of the recession. Um, so, information for us to read, right? To stay up to date on what's happening around the world, around the globe. So there'll be posts there for you guys to check out periodically, and as we post them, we'll make sure that we get them posted in the community as well, so you guys have easy access to those. But that's on the Eurozone. Economy unexpectedly stalled in Q4, following a 0.01 contraction in Q3 and compared to a forecasted 0.01 fall. Primarily or preliminarily, estimates showed Spain, Italy, and Portugal grew more than expected, while the French economy stalled and the German GDP contracted by 0.3%. All right. So they narrowly escaped that recession. We'll continue to watch and see the impacts on the market, and see how investors respond as we move through the happenings of the week. All right. With that, European stock market maintained early gains on Tuesday. Stocks 50 reaching a new 23-year high of 4660. And the broader stock 600 surging a 2-year peak as investors evaluate Q4 GDP flash data from the Eurozone and considering its potential impact on the ECB's policy outlook. The block's economy avoided a technical recession in the last 3 months of 2023 as a contraction in Germany was offset by firmer growth rates by both Spain and Italy. In corporate developments, BBVA reported a 32% increase in Q4 net profit compared to the same period in 2022, while Germany's Hapag-Lloyd witnessed a substantial 92% decline in EBITDA during Q4. That's major. Furthermore, Diego fell short of the first half estimates. In Holiday Group, Saga expressed anticipation for annual underlying profit to be more than double year on year. So, got some interesting things there. Spotlight coming up this week. In the tech sector, you got major players of Microsoft, Alphabet, and AMD set to release their results today. So we'll see how the market responds to those as well. See what boost or what contractions we get from there. Um, Then we had Swiss business morale continues to improve. UK consumer credit growth weakest in 7 months. And we talked about the Eurozone economic sentiment there. All right, so that's it from there. Let's go over to the calendar. We Yesterday we had unemployment rate for Japan came in just slightly below the expectation of 2.5, so it's positive for the currency. Bank of Japan is watching all of the data that comes through to ensure that they can make the changes that they desire to make from a fundamental perspective. Then we have retail sales for the Aussie came in well below the expectation here, right? So we continue to see some bouncing back and forth in that Aussie dollar. We'll take a look at some of those pairs as well. There's your data for the euro that came out this morning. Then today, we have consumer confidence for the United States, job openings for the United States. Got eyes watching there to see what those numbers look like. Then Bank of Japan summary of opinions. This is report includes the Bank of Japan's projections for inflation and economic growth. This could be an interesting report when it comes out tonight at around 6:50 Eastern time. When it comes to the yen pairs and how the Bank of Japan phrases their opinions here, and then how the market emotionally responds to those. So that's something we'll pay attention to as we move through the evening. We also have data coming out of Australia, the CPI data. Also be important for the Aussie. And then out of China, you got manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI. Okay. Then tomorrow we got German preliminary CPI, non-farm employment change, GDP for Canada, employment cost index quarter over quarter. And then at 2 o'clock, where all eyes are centered, rate statement for the United States. All right. So we know the first half, well, really the first month of the year has been kind of stagnant a bit, right? Got some movement, but all eyes are looking at some of these early rate statements to see where the Fed stands. So we'll look for that tomorrow. Then our coming on Thursday, we got Bank of England rate statement, unemployment claims for the dollar, ISM manufacturing PMI. And then on Friday, our normal cycle when it comes to non-farm payroll for the United States. So second half of the week, pretty busy. So we'll prepare for what's in store. All right. You guys have any questions or any thoughts from a fundamental perspective that you wanted to bring up? No? No? All right. Cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. How are you,
Hold
Ryan?
on 1 second, bro. I cannot hear you. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Um, 1 second. Can you hear me now, Benny?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But I still can't hear you. All right. 1 second. Let me change. 1 second, everybody. All right, Benny, talk to me, man.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. My apologies,
All good.
everybody. Not sure what went down with my audio source.
All good. All good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, man. What a mess with the euro,
Man.
huh? But it just forced some deeper corrections than I had thought. But just off the speculation that it was a report yesterday that is most likely that, you know, the eurozone is in a recession, and now you see the data this morning
Yeah,
kind of threw the market all over the place on some of the euros, but. Uh, so it just caused a deeper correction. You can see some of them starting to recover now, but man, speculation could be a mess sometimes.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. It definitely makes it interesting, dude. Definitely
Yep,
makes it interesting. So we'll see.
indeed.
We'll see once the market opens on how investors in the New York session respond.
Yeah, because this morning it's responding positive for the euro after the expectations for it not to be so good tanked it yesterday.
Yeah,
So but it's looking like it's recovering good this morning. The euro is some nice setups. So we'll see how it goes. Like you say, once the New York session opens. But I thought that was weird yesterday the way the market reacted.
yeah, yeah. Anything else top of mind for you, bro?
No, man, that's it.
That's it. All right. Appreciate you, man. Let's uh let's hop over to the charts and see what we got happening. For the dollar, still caught in that range. This is on the 1 hour, right? Still hovering around this previous daily resistance level that we came back and retested. So looking to see what happens, right? Do we get further move to the downside or do we press up? We'll likely continue to move sideways through the day today into tomorrow, waiting on the Fed rate statement and what they have to say during the press conference. So that's where we are on the dollar. Still caught in our range here. Had that gap up last week and now, or 2 weeks ago, and now we're just pressing sideways. All right. So not much doing on the DXY. Um, Let's take a look at those euros. All right. We'll take a look at the euros first, and then we'll work through the rest. So starting with the euro Aussie, we had a buy opportunity on the 15-minute coming out of the weekend, right? And like Benny said, deeper correction than expected, right? But stayed inside that AV boundary. I'll walk back and walk through this, but here's the scenario here. So this is that positive recovery that Benny was talking about. So we got a nice break of the trend line there, right? So now looking to see if we get continuation to the upside. Okay. And this is on a C to D move on the 15-minute. See, we're coming into the trend line there with price pushing to the upside. But here's our break of the inner trend line right there. Boom. Right. So we got a nice break pushing to the upside, coming to that middle trend line. We'll see if we get a pullback and a continuation to the upside there. Right. So price is just moving above that 618 retracement level. Some more potential upside to go there. So again, we'll see how the market responds to to that information, but we are moving long as expected, right? And as long as price doesn't take out the A, has no choice but to go our way. So we'll watch that and see how that progresses throughout the day today and into tomorrow. So let's bounce back now and see where we are overall. So on the daily time frame, here we are, right? We had a nice 618 retracement on the daily, break of inner middle trend line, pullback. There's a retest. So we'll see now if we're able to break back above this previous daily level and continue pushing long here, right? So we'll continue watching the developments here with the euro and see how things go. We got Aussie news coming later on tonight and tomorrow. So we'll see how the market responds and see if we can get that catalyst to continue pushing price to the upside here. All right, so that's on the daily time frame coming down to the 4. On the 4, 786 retracement level, strong bullish push. All right, so looking for pullbacks, potential continuations. Right, so beautiful deep retracement here. Nice V-type recovery. Now we'll look to see if we're able to get price to continue moving long. Okay. So that's on the 4, right? Similar look on the 15. That 15 gave you that entry down in this reversal area here. And now we're pressing to the upside. Okay. Coming down to the 1, and you see you got alignment on really all your time frames here, right? This nice deep retracement on the 1, you got an 8-6 retracement, and there's your push to the upside. I got the cloud on the 1 hour here, just tracking this. We are still below the cloud, but we'll see if we're able to get a break of the cloud and a twist to give us some additional confirmation of that of price moving to the upside and potential continuations long there. All right. So we'll continue to watch the developments here. Again, could get a pullback and then a push to break that cloud and see the twist. So that's where we are on a 1 hour perspective. That is the Euro Aussie from top down, looking long here. Any questions? So I fell asleep on the move last night. What's your original position on this, Joy? From the low down here?
Uh, it is 1.62758.
Wow. Great work. Great work.
Yeah, and I was waiting for the 4 in the sweet spot, and I seen it getting weak, so I was waiting to see if the A was gonna get taken out.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep on it, and I looked at it this morning, and I was like, well, whatever, I still got my original.
Yeah. Great work. Great work. Yeah. That sleep monster definitely take you out.
Man, no control.
I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, definitely drop some sevens in the chat for Joy. Right. It's a beautiful move to the upside. She's been the patience, right? Just sitting and allowing price to go. So that's 162 pips. And then, right, look for price to continue to the upside. Got weekly resistance at 168,421. And that matching the extension here on the 1 hour is there 166,874. So beautiful scenario there, Joy. Great work, man. Great work. All right. Any other questions or thoughts on this Euro Aussie? Nope. All right. Cool deal. The Euro CAD. This one's finally recovering. Uh, we'll see how things transpire. Still watching this from a longer term perspective, right? I have conflicting views on this from a higher time frame to the lower time frame. So monthly, we got a deep retracement. We didn't take out the A, right? We got tons of reaction here at this monthly resistance level at 151, 243, right? And price hasn't been able to break above, right? We got a lower high here, price pushing to the downside. So I'm curious on how this one continues to move, and if we start to see some strength coming out of the Canadian dollar. So I'm watching that part closely. Weekly time frame got a similar scenario, 8-6 retracement, right? You see that response at the weekly level and at the monthly level there, right? Not able to break above, continue to stay below, continue to make lower highs. So deep retracement. And then on our sub fib, smaller wave to the upside, we have an 80-20 scenario, right? So a little bit of confirmation of potential reversal coming at some point here. So I'm watching this one closely from a higher time frame perspective, more of a longer term scenario. See if we at some point, maybe I would love to see this retracement here, which we'll see on the lower time frame. Retracement here, give us that nice pullback, and then potentially see that longer move to the downside. So longer term thoughts that we'll track the fundamentals and see how things transpire from a fundamental perspective. Coming down to the daily on this one, we also have not gotten a 382, right? So I got my fib runner on this one off the low, right? And we're just been in consolidation here, right? So I'm looking to see, we tried to break this daily support level here yesterday, and we're coming back to it now. So there's 145, 487. So the question is going to be, right? Do we push back above, and then are we able to break that level with a strong bearish candle? Again, my longer term thoughts on how this could potentially move in the short term and the long term, right? So higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, a little bit of alignment, right? 80/20s on the weekly and daily, and a deep retracement on the monthly. So now we get down to the 4, and here's where we have this 80/20 scenario that's been just bouncing back and forth, right? We haven't gotten to the D extension, right? But we did on the 4 hour break this daily support level, right? So looking on the daily time frame to see if we're able to stay below this level, or are we able to break back above, get a retest, and then make this move and at least get us to this 382 here at 147,711. Right. So I'm watching this one from multiple perspectives. Like I said, I'd love to see a high price to give me the opportunity to then get short. Right. So we got this 80/20 scenario in this setup here. I moved my stop loss up on this one. I ended up taking profit once price got here for this third, fourth, fifth time. Right here, I took profit. So I'm not in this one at the moment, but I am looking potentially re-entering this one at the low price here and seeing if we get that catalyst to push price to the upside. So that's why I have that stop loss set there. But this position, right now, we're looking at this here, would look like this. Like so. All right. So TP1 coming in there and TP2 coming in there. Okay. So let's continue to monitor this euro, because we definitely could see some boost. You see, we got a nice strong bullish push here right now. Right. And we'll see if we get some continuation there. Okay. We'll see if we get that action to occur. All right. So that's on the 4. That's the setup that we have coming out of the weekly ritual. It was interesting to see that break, but I want to see if we're able to break back above that level. And if we are, then I'll look for an entry around that retest level and looking for that push to the upside. All right, so that's the setup on the 4. We come down to the 1 just to look for some additional confirmations here. You see, we took out the A on that push down, so we flip the fib and run it to the downside. Boom, and you see we hit a D extension on the move down. On the 1, we didn't get that 80/20 to play out, right? And we hit the D extension. So now we're looking for a fresh AB boundary here once this candle, 6 o'clock candle, closes in 6 minutes. All right, so that'll give us a new AB boundary, and we'll look to see again if we get that continuation long there. All right, so that's top down on the Euro CAD, looking at the 80/20 on the 4 hour. Any questions on the Euro CAD? And with the strong bullish action, we could potentially see a pullback before the continuation as well, right? Strong bullish push there. Pullback, and then action like that. Okay. So that's where we are on the Euro CAD. No questions. Cool deal. This Euro Swissy. It's recovering, right? So on this one, going to be interesting, right? The Swissy has saw some weakness closing the week last week. We'll see if that changes, but what we continue to see here in this one, I'm not in any trades on this one. I'm just watching this, but what we continue to see here is breaks and retest, right? If you go back and look, here, right? Push down. Whoops. There we go. Right? Making those stair steps. Right? And each level that gets broken, price comes back and retests. And so now as you see price coming down, we have support level here. And you see price after it broke it, came right back to retest that level. Boom. Push down, break the level of support, come back and retest it. And retested this one twice. Broke the level of support, came back and retested. Broke the level of support, came back and retested. So now I'm curious to see what happens because we're getting closer and closer to this D extension on the daily time frame. Right? It's strong bearish action here. Right? Strong bearish move. Is this just a pullback for a continuation short, or do we start to break back above these support levels and continue long? So this one, I'm curious to see what happens. So I'm just watching and waiting to see how this battle continues. But as we drop down to the 4, we also have right price moving down. We got a 382. We got a 382 retracement here, push down, right, pull back, and now we're moving down. So watching to see how this transpires. Okay, and this is that D extension level off the daily time frame at 92,108. Okay, so coming down to the 1, what you have is a fresh AB boundary. Right, we didn't push into this 118, 127 zone like we would have liked. We got the turnaround there. So do we get a high price and then make our way down to the D extension? We'll see. We'll see. But we're pressing long right now nonetheless. Right. So we'll look to see what happens when price gets back around 94,004. All right. So that one is moving long there. 4-hour buy on the 4-hour. And so coming out of the ritual, what we were looking at was potentially a C to D move here, right? Off of a deep retracement. But we pressed deeper, like Benny stated, and we ended up taking out that A, right? We ended up taking out that A on the 4. So on these smaller waves, that would be your new fib to the downside if you're tracking those smaller waves. All right. So we'll continue to watch this one. This one didn't stay inside that A boundary. So we didn't get the reversal. Price didn't even necessarily slow down as we started the week. It just continued to press down. So now we'll watch and see on this reversal to see what that retracement looked like. Okay. Questions on this Euro Swissy? Nope. All right. Cool. Our favorite player in the Euro basket, the Euro GBP. So always interesting. We had a strong push down. We came into this daily support, 85 to 30. You see on a daily time frame, we were not able to close below. We're not able to close below. Strong move to the upside, right? So we'll see if we get a pullback and a continuation on this one on the push long. Got some weakness coming out of the UK as well. So we'll watch and see how this push happens, right? So that's on the daily time frame, strong push to the upside. On the 4, we haven't gotten to the D extension, and you see we're getting the push. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, push. That would be an inner trend line break, right? So we'll see if we get a pullback and then a continuation on this. All right. So this was the setup coming out of the ritual, looking for that move to the upside. You see it trying to break that outer trend line as well. All right. Boom. Okay, so we're pressing along. So here's an 80-20 scenario there. So if you're not in this already, right, wait to see if you get a little bit of a pullback here. Okay. See if you get a pullback and retest that consolidation that we're breaking out of, and then look for that continuation long there. Okay. Questions? I'll go down to the 1 hour as well, but questions on this Euro GBP as I'm setting up this this setup here. No? All right. Cool deal. Oh, there we go. So there we are, STP1 and STP2. All right, so some great opportunity here. This one again, right, as we know, takes its time and does every dance known to man. So we'll allow it to do what it does, but TP1 93 pips to the upside. Okay. So let's go down to the one and see what we have there. On the one, right, it was a fresh AB boundary. We didn't quite get into that 118, 127 zone, but you see the strong bullish action there. So strong breakout. We'll look for a pullback and then that continuation there. Okay, you can track those smaller waves. Once we get a swing high there, you can then run your fib and track those smaller waves and wait for price to pull back into your sweet spot. All right, wherever that swing high forms, look for that pullback. And if you get price to pull back into your sweet spot, boom, and you look for that continued move to the upside there. Okay, Euro GBP, that's the move. Questions here?
No, sir.
No. Yeah, Joe, I feel you. I feel you. This is one that I'm not in. I was in it for a little bit in some of the other moves, but I'm not in that one. Euro yen. It's trying to turn over. So let's start from the top on this one as well. So monthly. We got this monthly D extension here a few months back. Got some indecision happening. Tried to break out to the downside. We pulled back, took back all of that and then some, right? But we're still getting this reaction here at this level, right? We don't have an official swing high yet. Once this month closes, if we stay below the high, we will have a monthly swing high here, right? So that'll be interesting then to see how this yen conversation plays out. Okay. So that's on the monthly time frame. On the weekly time frame, there's our 80-20 on the weekly. Strong breakdown. We got a pullback and we're trying to turn back over here, but we're getting some reaction on previous resistance levels. So gonna watch and see, excuse me, how this battle also plays out. Do we get more consolidation here before we get the continued move to the downside? Potentially, right? I'll be interested to see how that report comes out for the Bank of Japan this evening to see what they have to say regarding their inflation projections and economic projections. So that could give us some insight there. So coming down to the daily time frame, we also have an 80-20. All right. Strong move, pullback, right? If this continues to turn over, we could also have crown pattern. Took out the previous low. See the right tip, boom. So we could be in this right tip formation for a continued move to the downside on this euro yen. It's iffy because the Bank of Japan has not made any changes yet, right? So this one is still kind of sticky. It's surely from a fundamental perspective, right? So this one, looking at the turn, but also, right, being aware of what's happening fundamentally and protecting the profit as price moves in the event that we get some volatile action back to the upside. But that's what we could have on the daily time frame is that crown pattern. Coming down to the 80-20 scenario, right? Been watching this one. We saw this one breaking the trend line last week. Boom. right? And now we're continuing to make those lower highs and lower lows. Price is trying to make its way down. We're getting a nice little pullback here, right? Let's see if we come back and retest this 162.10 level and see if we get a continuation to the downside. This level is a previous resistance here, right? And we broke above it, and now we're making our way back below it. Okay, so that's on the 4. There's your 80-20 scenario there. Still in play. Still in play. So we'll see how far this one pulls back before the continuation to the downside there. All right, so there's your 80-20 there. Coming down to the 1, right? We had a 50% push. So this is just a turnover and breakdown to the downside. Okay, so we're moving short there. If we run a sub fib off the high, tracking the move down, there's your fresh AB boundary. Okay, so in the lower time frames, we can kind of track things like this and just track the ABCD waves to the downside as that, if I can click on this one, as that 80-20 on the higher time frame plays out. So looking at a retracement here, just like the rest of the euros, we got the strong retracement happening, right? And we'll look for a high price here, right? See if that retest of that daily level, see if we're able to stay below that and then continue to the downside on this one. Okay. So we'll watch and see. All right. I think that 162.10 level is going to be key with that range is going to be key as this we might see some consolidation at that range. All right. Questions on the Euro JPY?
Oh, sir.
Let's see something here. Now, Benny, you were looking at a deeper push here and then looking at a C to D move, right?
Yes, but we may be getting it. We may be getting it now. We're at
Came
it
in at
may
that
be trying.
50% level.
Yeah, it may be trying to U-turn now. So I definitely have my eye
Yeah.
on it. But I'm
Okay.
just, I'm still long, against the yen. So
Yeah.
just waiting for a lot of those setups to hit the sweet spots. But with that news this morning, that may be, ready to start making higher highs and higher lows now to the upside.
I dig it. I dig it.
Hmm.
Cool deal. So we'll watch that and see what we get on this Euro yen. Questions here? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Let me see something. All right. All right. All right. So let's go. Euro NZD. This one is super interesting to me for many reasons. Um, I'll start with the 80-20 that we got on the 1 hour time frame, and then I'll walk back up. There's the move. This one is already running. We had shallow retracement pushed down into the 118, 127 zone, and this one just took off to the upside, right? With that news. So we broke back below this daily level here, which a higher time frame. I'll show us what that is, but that's right in line with the 382. So 70 from just that 118 level, 78 pips to the upside. Um, I saw this one late and didn't get the chance to post it, but it's moving to the upside. So we'll watch and see what happens at this daily level, 177, 338, right? But we could see this one continue pushing through and give us a deeper retracement into the 618, 786, 86 range. So watching this one here on the move long, that's on the 1 hour. I'll get down to the 30-minute setup as well because we had one there coming out of the weekly ritual. But I'm watching this because we had this strong bearish action in November, right? December, beginning of January, gave us a retracement to take back some of that, and we retested this range here, right? had support level there. We came back and retested level, and we turned over and pressed back down. So I'm curious to see what happens with this pair if we do get the full euro strength and this carries this long and we break back above this 178,599 level, right, which was a previous support level here. So I'm watching this curiously, and right, even here as we sit, right, this was a previous resistance level, this range here that we also came back to retest after we broke it, right? So we had a break and a retest this way, but we also had a break of this resistance level, and we're pulling back into that range. We also had a resistance level there on the lower time frame, retested all of that. So do we get caught in a bit of a range here, or do we get the euro strength to push that to the upside? Right. So I'm curious on this one as well. And so we'll continue to watch the fundamentals on the euros to see if the narrative continues to stay hawkish, right? And if we get that catalyst to push to the upside, or do we start to see, and this is more from a geopolitical perspective, do we start to see the commodities start to gain a little strength? Definitely, there are concerns of war, of that war in Israel spreading. Over the weekend, there were some deaths of some U.S. soldiers. Um, so there things are starting to intensify in that region. So we'll continue to monitor that as well. I'll get some more information out on those updates so that we can track that and see how things continue to play out here, right? But we could definitely see the euro strength continue to push this to the upside. So as we move down on the 4, right? Here was an 80-20 that we had last week play out to the downside. Boom, we took out the A. When the A gets taken out, we flip the direction of the fib and run it to the downside. So we hit a D extension there, and you see the turnover. All right, see the turnover. So as we continue tracking down, we come back to that 1 hour setup. Boom, there was the 80-20 there on the 1. Okay, so that's where that daily level comes in at, is that previous resistance level that we had on the daily time frame there, right? That's this red line, 177,338. Right? So now as we come down to the 30, which is the setup coming out of the weekly ritual, this one was the 30-minute sell. Boom. Right? So this was a setup. Let me erase this here. And this one played out. Excuse me. We had that shallow retracement there, price in the 118 and 127 zone. When the market opened, it automatically spiked down, right? Just missed that 382, stalled for a bit, and then we turned over, pressed to the downside. So this was a fun scenario here with the gap and then the pullback and then the move down. So this 80-20 played out for us in a beautiful way, right? That was 219 pips to the downside if anybody took that setup coming out of the ritual. So beautiful move there. Now we're in this retracement phase, right? So now we're pulling back. So we run the fib off the high, boom, right? And you see the D extension was hit. So a fresh AB boundary as we're approaching the A boundary of that level there, right there. Right, so this one could definitely carry, and then we'll watch to see what happens at 177,338. Okay. Questions on the Euro NZD? Anybody take that 30-minute play to the downside? No?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. So let's watch and see how things continue to move. Right. The Euro is definitely going to be an interesting one as we continue moving. Definitely going to be interesting. Um, so we'll watch that. All right. On to the euro dollar. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, euro dollar. All of these euros are so interesting, man. So looking at it from a weekly time frame, crown pattern, right? We haven't gotten to that 382 off the weekly, right? Back and forth with the dollar. Interesting scenarios, right? Um, so this will be interesting to see how this plays out. That swing high right off of that evening star, continue moving to the downside. Do we get a pullback and then a continuation down? Right. So the euro's interesting, and what happens going forward will also be interesting. So as we come down to the daily time frame here, right, you see the strong move to the downside, gap down, continue pressing down. Was support here, now resistance there. So there we are there, right? Moving to the downside. Let's see if we get a retracement here. All right. See if we get a retracement. We already got a 50% push here. It's going to be interesting. This will be an interesting battle, right? See what happens at 2 o'clock with the rate statement for the US tomorrow. So coming down to the 4, okay. Already got a 786 retracement. No, didn't get to that 786 level. So a 618 retracement, didn't get to the D extension, pulled back again, and we're trying to turn back over. So are we able to break above these resistance levels and continue moving along, right? So looking at C to D moves on the euro dollar, right, to the upside. C to D moves to the upside on the euro dollar. Coming down to the 1, a couple different perspectives on this one, right? This is take the cloud off for a second, right? I was tracking this sub fib to the downside. We got that 382 push, and then we started moving down again, right? So we'll take this out, because what we're looking at is C to D move here. We haven't taken out the A, strong move to the downside. This cleared out. Strong move to the downside. So it's in at the 618 retracement level, right? And we're trying to turn over. So again, are we able to break these lower time frame resistance levels and continue this move to the upside? And then how far do we go? We got the daily resistance level there at 109. Are we able to get there and then break that and continue the move to the upside? Okay. Action like that there. So the day will be interesting with the euro. See how it responds, how things move. Okay. But that's the setup there coming out of the weekly ritual. And as long as price doesn't take out the A, has no choice but to go your way. All right. Boom. So we'll see if we get that longer term move to the upside there. Okay. Questions on the euro dollar. Nope. All right. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on those and see how things transpire. A couple others I want to take a look at. Take a look at the dollar yen. Just update on these yen crosses to see where they are. Right, dollar yen on the 1 hour time frame. That's our 80-20 scenario. Trying to continue to make its way down. Right, this is daily was support. You see the consolidation. Broke below, came back, broke below again. Now let's see what happens. All right. Now let's see what happens. So that one's just hovering, taking its time, but still continuing to make lower highs and lower lows. Okay. So we'll watch and see if we're able to get this to finish out, at least get us to that 145, 874 level, right? And then potentially deeper if we get the fundamentals to align. Okay, so that's the 80-20 just to check up on the dollar yen. Any questions there?
Nope.
Cool deal. The pound yen. We also got 80-20 scenario. On the 4-hour, we didn't quite push into that 118, 127 zone, stuck at that 188, 702 level and broke down. Right. So we're headed south here. And you see we had some support levels here that we were able to break through. Right. So now do we get a pullback, a retest, and a continuation to the downside there? Okay. Actually, let's go back to the daily here. Because daily we do have, right, we're just shy of that 118 level there on the daily. But that 188, 702 level has been a strong level, right? We hovered there for a little bit before turning over. That was our second time approaching that level. So double top scenario there. Now we want to see, we got previous resistance at 186, 136. See if we're able to break that and continue moving to the downside. Okay. So there's that level there that comes in at that 382 level on the 4. Okay. Coming down to the 1, here's where we had a cleaner 80-20 look. Boom. Right. Push into the zone. Trend line break. Pullback. Bit of consolidation. And then we got the breakdown. So we got to a 382 on the 1 hour already. Right. So TP1 has been achieved here. Now it's, do we continue down at least to that 186, 136 level? Potentially that TP2 zone, right? So this was a interesting but beautiful scenario nonetheless, right? I don't know if anybody held this as it bounced back and forth, but that's your TP1 level there. Cool. Right? So that is 199 pips to the downside. Right? So if you're still in this, protect your profit, right? Protect your profit, protect your profit. Maybe take some off the table, let the rest ride. And we'll see if we get to that 186, 136 as a support level. Okay. Questions on the pound yen? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Take a look at the Swiss yen and the CAD Swiss. Still hovering at these all-time highs. We finally tapped this 118 level, right? It's slowly trickling to the upside. Be interesting to see if we at some point touch that 176, 219, right? But slowly trickling to the upside, still not able to get a strong bearish turn on the weekly time frame. So we'll continue to watch this one cautiously. Daily time frame, we wicked at 382, and we're hovering in the 118, 127 zone here. All right. But break, retest, break. See if we get a retest and then potentially continuation long. Coming down to the 4 is where we have our 80-20 scenario that's clean, right? That fib is off. Should be like this. We'll track it with it, but that fib should look like that there, right? So just shy of the 382 there on the wick. In the 118, 127 zone, we've turned over, and we're trying to press down. We got some work to do though, right? It's been super choppy. So this one's going to be interesting to see how it continues to move. Okay. We come down to the 1 and you see we didn't get the 80-20 to play out here, push to the D extension, but we got an immediate turnover. So we'll continue to watch this and see how things move, right? We'll see how the report tonight moves the yen. Okay, so that's the Swiss yen. Any questions here? No. All right. Oh, I'm just looking at something real quick here. Okay. And then the still alive in that one? Yeah, me too. Me too. Bit of a drawdown, but still alive. Still alive. Cash Swiss. Still hovering, right? We got AB boundary on the daily time frame, but we're looking at this 80-20 on the 4. Okay. This one, Benny said, is always removes itself. There we go. Right. Larger fib, 80-20 scenario. Got a nice push, beautiful pullback into the zone. Some people had an opportunity to add to their original position. Some people had an opportunity to enter a position. And then we got the push back above the resistance level, pull back to retest. Now we're trying to figure it out and trying to get back long here. All right. So another one just taking its time, but we're looking for this one to continue moving to the upside as well. All right. So that's the 4-hour on the CAD Swiss. On the 1, right? Here was that pullback into the sweet spot and then the start of the move to the upside. All right. So there's that C to D push there on a move long. And that's still in the CAD Swiss. Awesome. Beautiful. Some of me gotta just, gotta just be patient with them, right? Be patient with them and allow them to slowly do their thing as they figure it out, right? So we'll see if some of the data, right, as we wrap up the month, see if the data that comes out end of the month into the beginning of February gives us a bit of a push, right? A bit of a boost, some volatility in the market. We'll watch and see how things transpire there. All right. So also keep in mind, end of the month, folks clean up their books for the month. So you could see some potential volatile movements that aren't necessarily, not necessarily fundamental based, but orders getting closed out. So you could see some movements there as well. All right. Uh, Questions on anything that we covered this morning? Not yet. All right. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir, not really. Great session. Right, got through a lot of pairs this morning, man. Those Euros have been interesting, but looks like they're going to eventually play out in our favor. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens going forward with these Euros.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited to see what happens too. Beautiful dance. Beautiful dance. All right, good people. Have a phenomenal day. Continue to be patient. Continue to be patient. We'll work on getting information to you guys on things on the fundamental side, any setups that we still have lingering out there. We'll work on getting those posted. We apologize, didn't get a lot of them posted over the weekend. Got some. Benny sent some refreshes out. So continue to be patient. Allow things to play out, right? Allow things to play out. Have a phenomenal day. We'll see you in the community, and we'll talk to you in the morning. Peace.